Well, a very, very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll turn the background music all the way down so you can hear me. Good evening. How are we doing? I hope you've had a wonderful week. It's David Christie here again with the SMRC eSports Racing Summer Championship, and this time we are on round 2. Qualifying rounds tonight for the session, and what a session it is going to be. We have got 7 cars from each heat qualifying, so we'll ignore that graphic at the bottom left there. It is going to be a 9-lap race, and all of the heat cards will show you that it is the top 7 indeed that go through tonight. I've been trying to put it off, but unfortunately we have to visit Monaco. It just had to be done. So a very good evening, and thank you very much, Edward Porter. I am absolutely brilliant. It's been a manic couple of days. I'm not going to lie, I am quite excited for tonight. We were due to have 15 cars in. We have only got 11 cars joining us for this first session. 15 invites did go out, but a number of people were showing offline. Oliver Stewart keeps getting disconnected. We will see if we can sort that, but Oliver Stewart disconnected during the warm-up stage, during the lobby stage, so yeah, we'll see if we can sort that one out. Good evening to Cormac Wilson Patterson. If I can continue to call him the man, the myth, the legend, that would be greatly appreciated. Cormac, you always will get that title, my good friends. You always will get that title. So, without further ado, let's go and have a little look at where we are off to tonight, because we are, of course, going to Monaco. No, that's not Kel, isn't it? That's the wrong guide that we've put up. Right. See, what I've done there is I've went to all of the effort to go and do a video guide about the track, and then I've not actually changed the guide that it goes to pull up. So that's a bit of a faux pas by me, isn't it? Not gonna lie. Right, shall we try that again? No. Right, okay. Give me 2 minutes, I'll go and find that one out. In the meantime, you can have your very first heat card for tonight. In heat number 1, you've got Finlay Brunton, you've got Glenn Alcott, Chris Drummond, Kieran Preedy, Colin Main, Craig Blake, Darren Allen, David Gein, Oliver Stewart is not with us, Craig Kerr, Annie Butterworth, Ryan Smith, Andy Sagely, Thomas Comer and Stephen Henderson. Edward Porter, I have still, believe it or not, I have still not had that drink. I've been threatening it, and it's not happened in over 2 weeks. Do you know what? Let's just head over to the track and have a look at qualifying as we are just now. So we are riding with Annie completely lost track. Sorry, Annie Butterworth. You know when you have one of those moments where your brain just completely melts out the side of your head? That's what's just happened there. Qualifying underway and cars struggling to get a lap in. I'm going to be honest, it's a very, very difficult track to get used to, but we should be looking at around about 1 minute 45s. So what we can do is we'll actually go and jump on board with Andy Butterworth. She comes through the tail end of the circuit just now. Let's take a ride round and talk you through some of the corners now. So it is super important to get a good run out of here as you come through La Rascasse and then into Antonino's. It's important also you don't get contact there from a car in front, but it's along the start-finish straight around the beautiful backdrop of Monte Carlo here. I've got to be honest, I'd love to just visit it, never mind take a car, but it's all the way down to turn 1 in Saint-Devoux, and then up the uphill climb. Now these GT5 Ginettas don't have a lot of oomph in them. They've got enough for a flat circuit, but they really are put to their test on a hilly part of the circuit like this. Round Massenet and then through into Casino. Then we go into the Mirabeau complex. Love watching this. Love, being a kid and watching the old F1 cars coming down this on the TV. My French is absolutely atrocious. I took German in school, Edward, so this is going to be a fun night as Annie Butterworth struggles to get the car around Mirabel there, but it's going to be down towards Portier. It's not going to be around into Portier because Annie Butterworth is now on her roof. It begins before we even get round to the track, so we'll ignore tunnel. We've gone past that, shall we? Oh, that kind of bodes well for tonight, doesn't it? Anyway, you've got the tunnel, the Nouvelle Chicane to back, Louis Chiron, the pool, and yeah. Oh my days! Right, let's just not try to take this too seriously tonight. 4.5 minutes left to go, and in the meantime, I'm going to leave you with the qualifying and try and get that video sorted for you. It was literally called Monaco promo. Oh my goodness me. Right, okay, so here we go then. We have already done turn 1, Sandoval, all the way up through Beau Rivage. And then it's going to be onto the left-hander here at the top of the hill, Massenet. Very, very difficult corner, this left-hander. I absolutely detest this corner because it always catches me out. I always take too much speed into it and I always end up on my roof. It's on the right-hander at Casino and then down the hill towards the Mirabel complex. Again, a very easy corner to make mistakes and send the car off into the barrier on the left-hand side, and you have to bring the car to almost absolute standstill just to be able to get the traction. You have to be so patient through that left-hander. This right-hander, very easy to upset the car and send it spinning, and as we saw from Annie Butterworth, the right-hander there at Portier, very easy and straightforward to get wrong as we go through the glorious, iconic tunnel here at Monte Carlo. And it's out into the daylight, down the hill, and it's... I always get this chicane wrong because, again, you want to take much more speed into it than you possibly can. Either that or you brake way too early just as you hit daylight. But never mind that, we're out through to back that left-hander there. It's then into Louis Chiron through the chicane here and down by the pool. Again, another chicane, very tight on the right-hander but not so tight on the left-hander, so you want to kind of just pitch it in and straighten it up, and then it's into La Rascasse. And just a couple of corners through here, a nice little tight right-hander, straight through, and then it's along the start-finish straight here at Monaco. So there we are, that is Monaco, that is a lap allegedly without crashing. We'll find out whether or not that is going to happen. Thank you very much to Aidan Wilson for pointing out that in the chat. We've got a minute and a half then. Let's take you through who we have got on that top 11 cars then. You've got, looks like Ryan Smith at the top there from... Let's see, Finlay Brunton is up into second place, and it shows you this is going to be a big spread of cars over here from first to 11th place. Finlay Brunton in second place. We've then got Kieran Preedy into third. Now Kieran Preedy, we know, is a very fast driver from some of the previous races, but it's good to see him back up in towards the top end of the field there. You've got Chris Drummond up into fourth place. Good old Glenn Alcock, he has been putting a lot of practice in at this track. We've seen it on the social media and he is making it look very straightforward. 147. Now he was able to get 145s. I'd love to see if he can fire it back up into the top there, but I don't know if he's going to be any faster on this time around. He's not, so 147.262 keeps Glenn Alcock in 5th place. It's then Annie Butterworth into 6th place, 147.501, and Dan Allen into 7th with a 148.657. We've got Togomoko, that is Thomas Comer, into 8th place with a 1:48.657, and then we see the cars that are struggling to get laps in, as we see Mr. Kerr, Craig Kerr, down in 9th place, and then in 10th place it's Andy Sedgley, and then in 11th place is Colin Main, 151, 152 and 153 respectively. That is qualifying going to be over though. The cars have crossed the line. We are now just waiting to see them go across. I've got to be honest, my stomach's churning a little bit at the thought of what is about to unfold, but hold my hand, chat. We will get through this together. We will make it out of tonight in one piece. I cannot promise that for the cars that are taking part tonight, but just remember, 7 out of these 11 cars are going to qualify for... Yeah, you know why I got distracted there. 7 out of the 11 cars are going to qualify for Sunday's final. And we're just watching the final lap times coming in, and actually the spread has went down quite considerably now. You've got 8 cars split by 2.8 seconds, so you know that is a very, very good qualifying session from all of the cars involved. Got a couple of laps coming in here. Can Finlay Brunton cause an upset? He's got a little bit of a toe here, and he cannot. 1:45.640 then for Finlay Brunton. And that is going to be that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this evening. This is, of course, the SMRC eSports Racing Summer Championship. And a big shout out to our sponsors, Torque Raceware, Milk Hill Racing Circuits, the SMTA and Track Scotland. But let's get down to business. Oh, it's going to be squeaky bum time. Right, Ryan Smith takes pole then from Finlay Brunton. Chris Drummond in 3rd place. And then in 4th place is Kieran Preedy. We're going to head to the track. Thomas Comer sneaks it up into 5th place there. That's a fantastic effort there from Thomas Comer. Annie Butterworth in 6th place. That knocks Glenn Alcock all the way down to 7th place, believe it or not. Darren Allen is in 8th place. It's Colin Main sneaks up into 9th, and then it's P10 for Craig Kerr, and then 11th place is Andy Sedgley. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your hats, because we are about to go live for 9 laps here at Monaco, Monte Carlo. And yeah, my heart's beating. Here we go then. Ryan Smith gets a great start, and it looks like Finlay Brunton's already lost that second place. Oh my goodness me! Finlay Brunton sends it absolutely up the inside there and takes that place back. So here we go then, coming up to turn number 3, and it is all very, very well done. I am loving this. I did not expect this at all. I expected carnage and chaos and drama, and we've not had this. What is going on? Who are these console racers? I think we might have to investigate for ringers racing in this race. But joking aside, fantastic start from at least 8 to 9 of the top 10 to 11 cars. Beautiful, beautiful start. So Ryan Smith still in the lead then from Finlay Brunton. And then up into 3rd place is Chris Drummond. We see, now hang on, Annie Butterworth up into 4th place as Thomas Comer into 5th. We've got Glenn Alcock up into 6th place there. Craig Kerr is down into 8th. Let's see what's happened to the rest of them. So obviously Colin Main and Darren Allen and Andy Sedgley have had a bit of a moment there at the start, but for the rest of them, it's all gone very, very well. Ryan Smith, though, with a 1.5 seconds there, a little bit of an unstable connection, so you might see him on the stream appear to hit the barriers or things like that, but it's very, very unlikely that he is going to do that. 1.5 seconds already over Finlay Brunton. Finlay Brunton going to try and bring that gap down, and then Chris Drummond just 0.5 seconds behind 2nd place. Cormac Parson, well done for you, sir, threatening to put a Ginetta into the sea on his race. I would very much like to see that happen, but hold on to your hats. Look at this, Glenn Alcock up into 4th place. That's a stellar drive from Mr. Superfast Scots there. So brilliant, brilliant 4th place there for Glenn Alcock. Annie Butterworth was up into 5th place there. She has fallen all the way down into 7th there, so no doubt some sort of issue, calamity going on. And this is a proper little endurance race. 9 laps, 1 lap around here is daunting enough, but 9 laps is an absolute nightmare in these cars. So, you know, hats off to the drivers. They're doing a stellar job. But look at that gap now between Ryan Smith and Finlay Brunton. That's now down to just 0.8 of a second. It was a second and a half. So Finlay Brunton, we know he's got pace in real life. We know he's got pace in the sim. We know he's got the ability. It's whether or not he can actually make a move and make it stick around here at Monaco, because passing opportunities, I'll be honest with you, are few and far between. Chris Drummond is going to be very, very happy there in that 3rd place. And remember, it goes all the way down to 7th place here. So Annie Butterworth at the moment holding on to that final qualifying position, and she's doing really well to hold off Craig Kerr, because Craig Kerr is making a brilliant recovery drive. He was caught up in that lap 1 drama, and I've jinxed it. Right, let's skip away from Craig Kerr so I don't jinx it anymore. We've got a brilliant little battle going on with Glenn Alcock here. Let's have a look on board with Kieran Preedy, because he's at the tail end of that little group. So there we go, that is Kieran Preedy's view of Thomas Comer and Glenn Alcock, 4th, 5th and 6th place there. Super smooth line into 2 of the 3 cars there, but Thomas Comer deciding to use the curb in the wall to help his way around. And Peter Robertson in chat meanwhile reminiscing of 90s Milky Way adverts on the TV. And no, I'm not going to burst into song about the red car and the blue car. But never mind that, back to your race for the lead. Let's go to the trackside camera again and look at this battle for the lead now. Lap 3 out of 9, and this is getting very, very tasty. 0.4 of a second. Finlay Brunton looking calm, composed, and yeah, he is looking very, very menacing. They're coming out of the tunnel, and then the chicane. Oh my goodness me, what a dive up the inside from Finlay Brunton. Stunning move. That was awesome. That is what you want to see. I did say just 2 laps ago, or 1 lap ago, about how difficult it is to get an overtaking manoeuvre done. And that was just an awesome move there to take the lead. I hope you enjoyed that one, ladies and gentlemen, because that was textbook stuff. So it is now 1, 2, 3 of Finlay Brunton, Ryan Smith, and then Chris Drummond. Chris Drummond not looking happy in 3rd place now. He wants to take a little piece of this as well. We're about to start lap number 4 then. And this has absolutely exceeded my expectations. I was not expecting this. We knew, we were thinking this was going to be an absolute bloodbath, but we totally not had that. We've had a thrilling race so far, and it's absolutely not over yet. Finlay Brunton though looks like he might be checking out. He's already a second. But look at this, Chris Drummond thinks he can have a little pot shot at Ryan Smith here. They're coming down in towards Mirabeau. Legitimately, I am on the edge of my seat trying to figure out how this is going to all pan out, because as I thought Finlay Brunton was stretching away there, he's now getting caught again by Ryan Smith. And all it takes is one little bit of contact against Armco, and that scrubs off the momentum that is so important in these cars. The gap now just half a second between your top 3 cars. Ryan Smith thinking better of it. Oh my goodness me, Chris Drummond there looked like he had a lot of speed closing into that chicane, and there's 3 red cars within a second of each other for the lead. If any of you, oh my goodness me, we cut to Glenn Alcock being assassinated at the poolside chicane there, and he's going to try and get his way back onto the circuit. At the moment as it stands, he is still in the qualifying hunt. He's 10 seconds, so he is safe. He just needs to get the head down and keep things moving. Right, so let's recap, because this has been a manic 5 laps that we've got here. Your top 7 then qualifying for this Sunday's race at the moment are Finlay Brunton, Chris Drummond, Ryan Smith, Cian Preedy, Thomas Comer, Annie Butterworth and Glenn Alcock. And if anybody had said about this was what was going to happen here at Monaco, I would not have believed you, not in a million years. I was expecting us to be down to about maybe 7 cars by now, and we've still got 10 of the 11 starting cars, albeit spread out, but I was expecting at least one car to be lapped by now, so this is awesome stuff to watch. Annie Butterworth making her way through Casino there, then down in towards Mirabel. Look at that, Finlay Brunton now has checked out. In fact, your top 3 have spaced out quite considerably there. 1.5 seconds from Finlay Brunton to Chris Drummond, and then Ryan Smith back in 3rd place. Thomas Comer is just ahead of Cian Preedy. Cian Preedy now fighting side by side in the tunnel. Surely that one's going to be done, because all the momentum lost by Thomas Comer there. Down in towards the chicane. We've only got 4 laps left to go this, and this has been an awesome race, number 1. So just a little heads up, guys, we are already at 25 past, and we've got another 4 laps of this, so we are very likely going to be quite delayed getting race number 2 on, and that will obviously have an effect through the night, so we'll probably be getting things underway in, I would imagine, 10-15 minutes time for race number 2. So anybody that's on chat on stream watching in race 2, just expect things to be a little bit later, and don't worry if that invite doesn't come up too soon. Lap 6 out of 9, and Finlay Brunton, yeah, he's managing that gap. It's now 1.5 seconds. It's 2 seconds from 2nd to 3rd place. It's then 12 seconds to this awesome battle. I was trying not to use expletives there, because Cian Preedy is having to claw his way past Thomas Comer here, and indeed he goes against barrier. That's going to lose him a lot of time. Thomas Comer with the exit out of Casino there, and they're down in towards the complex in Mirabel. That is going to be the place, surely, for Thomas Comer. How did that just happen? As Cian Preedy fires it round the outside, takes it on the inside, and that is going to be the place. Cian Preedy just somehow held on to that position. That was an incredible move there. Very good evening, Ian Kennedy. Hope you are enjoying the reminiscent sights of Monaco. Hope it was just as fabulous back in 2005 as it is now. But we are watching this battle between Cian Preedy and Thomas Comer right now. But I'm also having a look at Chris Drummond, because he's dropped a lot of time to Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith has got the pace right now to catch on to the back of Chris Drummond. And he's only going to have a couple of laps here left to do. Both cars heavily into the wall there. And is that going to be a drive-through penalty? I think it is. That'll be for either damage or for too many track cuts. So Ryan Smith jumps into pit lane there. That is going to drop it back quite significantly. Just watching through the cars now as Glenn Alcock still holding on to that final qualifying position. He is now 12 seconds, make that 16 seconds ahead of Craig Kerr in 8th place. We see Colin Main in 9th, and then Andy Sedgley at the back of the field in 10th place as well. But we have now got 4 cars within 6 seconds of each other, and that is Ryan Smith, who comes out of pit lane, and he's now having to go and fight off Cian Preedy as well as Thomas Comer. So this is developing quite nicely, because we've only got 2 laps left to go here. I'm trying to work out the pace of Ryan Smith, whether or not he can hold off Cian Preedy right now, because Cian looks to be incredibly motivated when he's got another driver in front of him, and that's exactly what's happened now, putting Ryan Smith into the clutches of this little battle here. Of course, it doesn't really matter in terms of for the qualifying, as long as they're in the top 7, that is the main thing. So they're going to want to maybe just calm things down a little bit while we go into the final 2 laps. As your race leader, Finlay Brunton, comes across the line, start another lap. He's been doing consistent 147s. I don't think anybody's been coming even close to catching up with that time. A second between Ryan Smith and Kieran Preedy, second and a half, excuse me. 2 seconds between Kieran Preedy and Thomas Comer. But yeah, I think we're now into the business end. We're into the tail end of the race here. Back with your race leader then, Finlay Brunton, the 2019 C1 champion, 2020 SMRC rising star. We saw him take part in the Spring Championship and he was just so fast. Had some unfortunate accidents through other people and unfortunate incidents. Ended up 6th overall in the championship and could have been so much higher, and doing it justice right now here on the streets of Monte Carlo. Chris Drummond with a stunning second place here in qualifying, with Ryan Smith still just holding on to that 3rd place, although I think that 3rd place is quite safe right now. And the interesting thing, of course, about Finlay Brunton and Ryan Smith is that they were 1st and 2nd in the C1 Championship, so good to see the C1 being represented quite strongly here in the console championship. Because of course that man there, Kieran Preedy, was 3rd as well. In fact, I am wondering if this is a respite for the C1s, because of course then Thomas Comer was planning to race this year in the C1 Cup. Annie Butterworth, however, is the odd link out because she's in the Scottish BMW Compact Cup. Although, could that be the rumour mill for 2020? Could we see Annie Butterworth in a C1? I think that could happen. Quite possibly could happen. Right, final lap then. Enough joking about, because this has been a stellar drive from Finlay Brunton. Very clean racing. This, as I said, great point there, Peter Robertson. This is not what I expected at all. I had my fears, my worries after last week at Knockhill, and after the penalties were all dished out. Yeah, that is another interesting point to make note of, is that we will not be publicising the penalty outcomes, I don't think, through this season. So it's just the drivers that get told. Now, if the drivers want to let on about that, that's up to them. But yeah, we won't certainly be publicising it as part of the SMRC. But never mind that, because Finlay Brunton has absolutely smashed it tonight. A wonderful drive from Finlay Brunton. And there we go, race number 2 goes to Finlay Brunton. Qualifying heat number 1 for the PlayStation 4. Brilliant effort from him. Chris Drummond in 2nd place. It's going to be Ryan Smith who is going to take 3rd place. Across the line, Kieran Preedy. That was a wonderful drive from Kieran Preedy there. Thomas Comer across the line in 5th place. Annie Butterworth is going to finish in 6th. And then Glenn Alcock takes that final position. What has happened to Glenn? Why is Glenn stationary? Oh no, he's not. Right, so Glenn's internet connection bogged down there. So that's what happened, right? So I'm happy with that. He gets 6th place. It was 7th place there for Craig Kerr. 8th place there for Craig Kerr. 9th place for Andy Sedgley, and 10th place for Colin Main. Wow, what can you possibly say about that? Right then, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Did you enjoy that? Because I know I certainly did. Goodness me. Right, qualifying heat 2 is going to be coming up in about 5 minutes time. We will get things kicking off with that as soon as we possibly can. We have to go and save the replay for this, and then we will be off into the next one. So we'll go and do all that. We'll leave you with a very, very short break, and when we come back, it'll be time for race number 2. It wouldn't be fun without it, would it? Right, so as you can tell, we're having to do a very, very quick technical pause. We're having to restart things. So if you are in Heat 2, if you could please accept the new invite coming out. So we've got a new session going up. So if you are in Heat 2, please come out and take the new invite. And yeah, we will get you sorted ASAP. So the great news is we are very, very nearly there. So what we'll do is we'll pop on the heat card for you so you can see who to expect in the next session. We should just be a couple of minutes away. So, my deepest apologies for the lengthy delay. Unfortunately, these things can and do happen from time to time, but we are getting ready to go live with qualifying heat number 2. Thankfully. Whew, got there. Right, now I did see somebody drop out just as we connected. Daryl Adams, it looks like we've just lost on the entry there. Now, I think it still lets him join in since we're doing qualifying, but we'll have a look at that, because obviously We don't want that happening. Right, the session is loading up, so we are getting ready to go in. Thank you very much for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be going back just as soon as this session loads up. So there you go. PlayStation Heat 2 then. Alan Gordon, Andrew McIlvright, Andy Hunter, Darrell Adams, Dave Noonan, Elliot Lethwaite, Ewan McKenna, Fraser McNeil, James McCracken, Kenneth Brewster, Kevin Barry, Mark Geraghty, Rory Skinner, Stephen Clark and Stuart Anderson who are taking part tonight. Now we have unfortunately lost one. I believe that is Darrell Adams. Darrell, if you can, try and get yourself back in. It is still just qualifying, 10 minutes qualifying. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, 15 minutes later than planned. Let's get back on track. Let's go then. 5 minutes left to go in the qualifying session so far, and at the moment at the top of the time screens, that is a fantastic time gone in from Stephen Clark there. Some real practice shown there. 145.636. We were averaging 147s in that last race. Respect though, 2.8 seconds between the top 9 cars. So again, a lot of these drivers have been putting in practice, and it is very much showing. We've got Andrew McIlbride in second place now. Interesting fact about Andrew is the fact that he doesn't actually race in real life. So he is very much an aspiring racing driver, but certainly on the pace. 146.152, just half a second off of Stephen Clark there. So yeah, excellent effort there. In third place is going to be Kenny Brewster with the 146.183. Fourth place at the moment is going to be Corrupted Tree, that's Stuart Anderson. So again, we've seen Stuart is very fast, and indeed 145.760, hold my glass. Second place, 1/10 of a second behind the leader, and this is starting to get very interesting. Half a second behind that is third place, half a second behind that is Kenny Brewster, and then in fifth place is going to be Alan Gordon. ALZ 240668 sounds like a phone number, is just the fifth fastest man on track. Behind him, what possible word can he use to describe Mark Geraghty that is not going to get me a kick in when I next see him up at Knockhill? Mark Geraghty down in sixth place, and in fact I say down, but I mean he was struggling that first time out at Knockhill, so it's good to see that he is back in the mix there. 2.5 minutes left to go in the session, and again I'm really hoping we get treated to another really wonderful display like we had that last time round. I think that last heat there absolutely spoiled us with the awesome racing action that we had. Stephen Clark there. Now, who is that is getting an awesome tow? That was Stephen Clark, so I wonder if he's going to have a really good lap here, because he was behind that light blue car for 3/4 of the lap there. He's going to come across the line, and this looks absolutely blisteringly fast. Across the line, he can improve, so it's still 145.620. So we've now got 3 cars within 3/10 of a second. Where has this come from? This was absolutely not on the cards when we saw Knockhill, and you know, chat, tell me if I'm wrong here, but the overwhelming consensus was this was going to be an absolute catastrophe. This was going to be a real difficult night, and this is some of the closest and most intense racing that we've had so far in the championship. This is a proper diamond in the rough, this track here with the Ginettas. Stephen Clark still in the lead there from Stuart Anderson. Kenny Brewster up into third place. Just half a second behind that, just half a second. Andrew McIlbride was up in the second, is now demoted down into fourth place there. We've got Alan Gordon in fifth. And then in sixth place is Darrell Adams. Mark Geraghty being pushed down into 7th place there with PZR Jamesy, that's James McCracken, down into 8th. Bunyip Adventure is down in 9th place, that's Kevin Barry, and then in 10th place is Fraser McNeil, with Ewan McKenna down in 11th, and Elliot Lethwaite. Now Elliot Lethwaite has really surprised me in this championship, because we saw him in the spring championship and he was blisteringly fast. He was just on it all the time in every single combination that we gave him. He really had a difficult Knockhill round, and he's really struggling to get on the pace here in the session. As we look at swim fins, that is Dave Noonan, who is very much just keeping himself to himself, and I don't think he is going to get a qualifying lap in right now. Kenneth Brewster has decided he has done enough. He's got himself up into third place. That is also going to be Andrew McIlvright into pit lane as well, but it does look like it is going to be that man there, Stephen Clark, who takes pole position with a 1:45.620, unless Stuart Anderson can do anything about it at all. I don't think he's going to be able to do it on this lap, although that car is looking mighty quick coming through down the tunnel, and he's going to go into the chicane at the poolside. Just a couple of corners left to go. He's got to back turn 12 to navigate next. Does that very, very easily, keeps the car nice and tight into that corner because he's got the chicane here, Lou Chiron, and then poolside, and then turns 15 and 16, and then down in towards Larascas. And if you ever came to get elocution lessons, French elocution lessons, this is most definitely not a stream that you want to be watching, because I'm about to butcher all of these corners, so I do apologise. Meanwhile, Stuart Anderson goes across the line and cannot improve. So 1:45.760 is his fastest lap that he can do there. So there we go. That is your top three. It's going to be Stephen Clark from Stuart Anderson, Kenneth Brewster in third place, and then in fourth place is Andrew McIlvright. Fifth place is Alan Gordon. Sixth place is let's have a look. That is Daz. So that is Darrell Adams, and then Mark Geraghty in seventh. We've got James McCracken in 8th place there, and then in 9th place is Kevin Barry, 10th place is Fraser McNeil, 11th place is Ewan McKenna, Elliot Lethwaite down into 12th, and then right at the back, Dave Noonan not able to set a lap time. Edward, I do apologise for that. I was trying to move the microphone out of the way and ended up just completely clattering it. So yeah, apologies about the loss of eardrums and loss of hearing. You are of course watching round 2 of the SMRC eSports Racing Summer Championship. This is qualifying heat 2 for the PlayStation 4. We are running about 15 minutes behind schedule, but we will get there. So qualifying's done and dusted, there we go. Confirmation then, 1:45.620, that is some pace. But without further ado, let's get straight into the race. And keep an eye out on social media next week for an announcement about the SMRC eSports Racing Summer Championship, the console edition. We will have new commentators coming on board. Very, very happy to say that throughout the rest of the season we will be getting a little bit of help from none other than Andy Alston on the podcast, and brand newcomer Thomas Davis will be giving us a hand through the commentary booth for the rest of the season, so we'll give you more details on that through the night. We're on the grid though, we are ready, waiting to go. So we've got 13 cars that are waiting to get all synchronised up and do their digital thing here at the virtual recreation in Monte Carlo of Monaco. A wonderful, prestigious track here, and a 9-lap race awaits us just now. So what happens here is it's quite unique to the console version, is that all of the 13 cars that are on the grid here have to talk to each other, have to agree on things like position, on track times, things like that. And then when that happens, the screen goes black, it fades up, it says syncing, that goes away, and we are ready to go. 13 cars on the grid here for a 9-lap race. Qualifying Heat 2 for PlayStation 4 is underway. Stephen Clark gets a good getaway, but he is already on the back foot right now, as we've got 2 cars going into turn 1, 3 cars going into turn 1, and that was a huge clatter into the background, and there is what we expected. That is what we were thinking was going to happen. Although even then, it's not really been as bad as I thought it was going to be. Elliot Lethwaite up into 11th place, and I think heat number 2 is going to have the judges and the admins all having a little bit of a chinwag with each other. Your top 3 as it stands, it's still it was Stephen Clark, because Stephen Clark has now been overtaken by Kenneth Brewster. So it's Kenneth Brewster, your new race leader, from Stephen Clark, and then it is Stuart Anderson in 3rd place. In 4th place is Alan Gordon, and that means that Andrew McIlwright has gone all the way back down into 7th place there. We've got a car that is stopped at the chicane there and at the hairpin. Now, what was that, Jamesy? No, that was Fraser McNeil, who is fighting everybody that he can see. Admins are going to be very, 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 very busy tonight. Mark Gerety has on an absolute howler of a start there. He's just making his way around the circuit just now, in towards Tunnel. Making his way through the tail end of the circuit. Back with your race leader though, Kenneth Brewster from Stephen Clark, and that's already a gap of 1.1 seconds from the leader to 2nd place there, so that's a sizable gap there. We never saw that pace coming through qualifying there, as we see Stuart Anderson in 3rd place. So a very intriguing 2nd qualifying heat for the PlayStation 4 right now. Big spread of cars right now, because the top 6 are within 8 seconds of the leader, but then you've got about another 17 seconds all the way back from 8th place, sorry, from 9th place to 13th place. So this isn't quite the same battle that we had in the first race, I'm afraid. This is all going to be spread out, and a lot of cars in their own individual little battles throughout the field, but ultimately it all falls down to Andrew McIlwright, because he's got the last qualifying spot there, as we see Bunyip, that's Kevin Barry, going straight in towards the barrier there, the exit of the corner. A very good evening, Mr. Alex Goldschmidt, our brand new commentator, joining us for the start of the SMRC eSports iRacing Championship. Get to hear his dulcet tones tomorrow night, and my goodness me, am I glad that you're not helping me out tonight, my good friend, because this is just mayhem. We have got cars going all over the place right now. Peter Robertson, what did you just say? What, you scrubbed your last message? Read Facebook. Okay, never mind. Right. So I'm getting caught up in chat as well here, because Cormac Patterson is bragging that Andrew Gilman doing a 144, and hoping that I can speak quick enough to keep up with him. Well, we'll soon see, because if you try a 144 in here, you're going to end up in the swimming pool. That's what's going to happen there. No, I didn't hit the face. I didn't hit my face with a mic. I could, but yeah, it's not going to happen. Right, Kenneth Brewster already on to lap 3. This race is absolutely flying by right now. Stephen Clark down in 2nd place. That gap now just 0.6 of a second. Stephen Clark trying to catch on to the back of your race leader, and again, all they're trying to do is stay in the top 7, so they don't really have to fight all that hard. But one man who does have to fight hard was Andrew McIlwright, was being the word, because he's now up in 6th place, and Ewan McKenna now into 7th, and that means that Kevin Barry is going to be fighting him for that final qualifying spot. Let's go on board with Kevin Barry actually and watch through the tail end of the circuit. So apparently Andrew Gilman's backing up Cormac Patterson's claims that he's done a 144. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Cormac Patterson's going to do a 144 in qualifying. 154. Yeah, that is fast, mate. That is fast. Maybe for a C1, but yeah. Absolutely distracted there. Right, let's go back on with your race leader then, trackside, because that gap is still being maintained actually. Kenneth Brewster has done a fantastic job of holding on to the lead right now as they come round Casino for the 4th time. This little complex at Mirabeau is just absolutely wonderful. Such a nice little section of corners here, because you go the right hander at Mirabeau, and then it's down in towards the Grand Hotel hairpin, and then out through Mirabeau again, and then to Portier, and then in through the tunnel. All that's missing is the sparks from the undertray of these little Ginettas. Down through the chicane then, and I do wonder if it's going to be a matter of time between that's happening, because we look behind and Stuart Anderson has binned it on the exit of the hotel, on the exit of the tunnel, on braking in towards the chicane. And this is what I was saying earlier on, it's so easy to make a mistake and lose your way of thinking. That means though that Ewan McKenna drops now down to 8th place, so Ewan McKenna as it stands is not going to be qualifying for Sunday's final. He's got 4 laps left to undo that issue of Kevin Barry getting past him. And they're rapidly catching on to this battle going on here for 5th and 6th place, because Andrew McIlvray is desperately trying to hold on to that charge from Elliot Lethway. And I was saying about Elliot Lethway actually earlier, I was singing his praises in the Spring Championship and wondering where that pace had gone, and now we're starting to see that come back, because he's fighting already for 5th place. And that is going to be a huge moment. Oh my goodness me, in the Casino there's a monstrous crash there, and 3 cars caught up in that. That was Elliot Lethway with Ewan McKenna and Andrew McIlvray. Andrew McIlvray was the guilty party there, went too fast there into the corner at Massenet, spun the car round at Casino and collected 3 cars there with them, and that is a big accident. That is big, because that decides who goes through into the qualifying there. So Andrew McIlvray is teetering right now ahead of Ewan McKenna and Elliot Lethway. Elliot Lethway lost big time out of that, and I'm absolutely devastated for him. He went from 5th place all the way down into 9th. So yeah, the stewards are going to be very busy. Remember about the protest sheets, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this one. I'm going to be busy having to record all these replays for these stewards to have a look at. But never mind. 3 laps left to go. Your race leader just starts his 6th lap. Kenneth Brewster now 1.5 seconds ahead of Stephen Clark, and they're now 12 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Sensational drive from Kenneth Brewster. Stephen Clark though as well. So there are these little pockets all through the circuit. We've got Kevin Barry just ahead of Andrew McIlvry's, and then all the way up into 7th place. How on earth has he done that? I need to know that one. How has Darrell Adams snuck his way up into 7th? Ewan McKenna is now down into 8th place there, and that doesn't help at Massenet for Ewan McKenna. He is all over the place with that car around Casino. I do wonder if he's now got damage onto the car there. Yeah, that is not what you want to see happening at all, as we are coming right to almost having 2 laps left to go. Your race leaders, this is starting to close back in though with the race leaders, because Kenneth Brewster is now just 0.8 of a second ahead of Stephen Clark. And as much as I want to watch this, unfold, there's another battle for 3rd and 4th place between Alan Gordon and Stuart Anderson. Stuart Anderson gets a wonderful run out those final couple of corners there. Comes along the start-finish straight, he's in the toe. I don't think he's going to have enough to go into turn 1 as we go on to lap number 7 here at Monaco. Watching Alan Gordon trying to go around the outside of turn number 3. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. He's going to have to go into the brakes. He's down in towards Casino for turn 4 and then into the Mirabeau. Yeah, this is all very, very above board. Let's check in with Andrew McIlvray then, 5th place for him, ahead of Kevin Barry and Darrell Adams. Behind that, Ewan McKenna in 8th place. So Darrell Adams, as it stands, has that final qualifying position right now, but he is hotly being contested for that one. You see Elliot Lethwick trying to catch on to the back of Ewan McKenna as well. Edwards, I don't like the track, I really don't. I love watching cars racing here, but as a driver, I really struggle with it. I just cannot master it at all. The first half of the circuit I'm okay with, but from the back onwards, that's where I really lose my concentration and just find it very difficult to get any sort of pace whatsoever. So, you know, to these drivers here, hats off, they're still doing 147s, 148s all through the laps here, so they've got fantastic pace right now. So hope that answers your question there, Edward. As we see Elliot Lethway try to go around the outside here, dives it up into the inside there, and that is going to make the move stick. Surely there's contact, and this is for 8th and 9th place, so they don't need to be scrapping like this. It's all going to end in tears, boys. Please. Right, let's cut back to your race leader then. 1.6 seconds ahead of 2nd place of Stephen Clark. Stephen Clark now coming up towards some back markers as well. Stephen Clark has been caught up hideously by these back markers. They don't know what is going on, and that allows Kenneth Brewster to streak off into the distance on the penultimate lap. It looks like it's all in the bag right now, and Steve Clark is not going to be happy with this one. As we see Alan Gordon fighting off Stuart Anderson for 3rd and 4th place this time. Down in towards the chicane, out of that iconic tunnel there. Alan Gordon making that car as wide as he possibly can. The Ginetta GT5s that we're racing tonight, they're going to go side by side. Wow, that was awkward. I'm pretty sure there was contact there. I'm pretty sure there was an overly aggressive move there, but it is what it is, and that means that Stuart Anderson moves back up into P3 and Alan Gordon moves down into P4. We've got a cracking little battle going on there between Kevin Barry and Darrell Adams. Darrell Adams is not happy with just having the final place, the final qualifying place tonight. He wants to try and take P6 from Kevin Barry, and he's making sure that he can try and make that stick. That is just not going to happen, you would think, because he's going to have to try and go around the outside of turn 1. Better of it. So we are already on our last lap. Just a reminder for those taking part in the Xbox races tonight, we are severely behind schedule with the races. It now looks like we're going to be looking for a 7:30 start for the Xbox. So a 7:30 start for the Xbox. Back with tonight though, we are on our last lap. obviously a provisional time. If we can get the Xbox drivers in to earlier, then we obviously will. We'll set the lobby up and hopefully we can get that done. But meanwhile, your race leader, Kenneth Brewster, has only 2-3 more corners to go, and he is going to win heat number 2. He has made this look very, very straightforward indeed. There we go then, qualifying heat 2 for the PlayStation 4. Round 2 goes to Kenny Brewster. Second place is going to go to Stephen Clark. Third place is going to go to Stuart Anderson after a very, very heated battle there with Alan Gordon, who gives a hip check to the wall, and the wall comes off better, I can assure you of that. Kevin Barry is going to try and finish in 5th place despite the best efforts of Andrew McIlbride. I've spoken too soon, haven't I? Andrew McIlbride sneaks up the inside and takes that 5th place for Kevin Barry, but I do feel that we're going to hear more about that. Darrell Adams said finishes in 7th place, and it's going to be a terrible, terrible time for Elliot Lethway. It could have been so different for him. He's going to finish in 8th place. James McCracken in 9th. It's going to be Ewan McKenna in 10th, and then it's Mark Gertie finishing in 11th place, with Fraser McNeil in 12th, and then someone not finished in the race is going to be Dave Noonan, getting it all sorts of wrong on that final couple of corners. So there we go, guys. That is your qualifying heat number 2 for the PlayStation 4 and our final race for the PlayStation tonight. We're going to turn our attention to Xbox in just a minute, and we'll wait for the cars to come across line so we can get a recording of the final results there. Bingo, bish bash bosh. Right, that is us for just a second. We'll take a very, very short break, and when we return, we will hopefully have our qualifying for the Xbox.
If we had another chance, I would never let you steal my glance. Bring me back to life.
So the good news is that's the first batch of invites out to all of the drivers. As I said, we'll be getting started at 7:30, so we'll put another 4 minutes on the timer. And in the meantime, what we'll do is we can show you actually who is taking part in tonight's race. Remember that it is the top 7 that are going to qualify from tonight's race, which is slightly more than in Knockhill. We had to run 3 heats because there was only able to get 10 drivers on the grid at the time. But have a look at this. Here is who's taking part tonight. And just like that, we have cars out on track. So we're getting going. We'll try and catch some of the time up. But as we said, 15 cars taking to the grid for this race. So delighted that we've actually got a full field on the Xbox. Let's have a look at who we've got then. So we have got Stephen Bramwell, Cormac Patterson, who, remember, ladies and gentlemen, promised us as gospel he was going to do a 144. So we need to see that tonight, Cormac. Ian Wilson is out there as well with Andrew McKinley. We've got Bryn Hawkins, Chris Cherry. We've got Chloe Grant, John Glover, Andrew Gilman, John Duncan, Mark Winus, Ian Menzies, Scott Anderson, Callum Reid and Shay Brennan out on track just now. As always, 10 minutes of qualifying. We've got 8.5 minutes left to go, and it is so vital you get a clear bit of the track. Yeah, Edward Porter, that is exactly it. I mean, I'm not really going to be fussy. If Cormac Patterson can do a 144 and throws it into the swimming pool, you know, I'll happily take it. I'll take the 144, you know, given that the fastest we've seen tonight is a 145. So we do enjoy, and we're very much grateful to have Cormac Patterson with us, because him and his friends are just an absolute riot. They are really, really good fun. So I thought I'd make things a little bit different just now, because it doesn't really affect the cars. We didn't really have damage on, I believe, in the PlayStation one. It's certainly what was set to be, there was no damage, and the cars were very, very clean at the end of it. So I've put cosmetic damage on, because it doesn't actually affect the cars. It's just funny seeing a Ginetta with no front panels going around Monaco. It's quite the runner, isn't it? So, Shay Brennan is the first car to have set a lap time, a slightly representative lap time of 1:58.505. I'm pretty sure that's going to get beat through the end of the session. 6.5 minutes left to go though, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this all goes round. Well, you know when you come back to the stream and you just see something, you're just like, Shay Brennan going into the wall there. And very unpleasantly going into the wall at the entrance to Portier there. Yes, not so good. Right, I can't believe it's 4 minutes in, we've still not had any real times going in. Tamsin, I should have warned you about that. That's my bad, I'm sorry. You really didn't want to see that to poor Shay. Never mind. Right, 147. That's getting a bit better. There we go. 147 there for Westy V8. That is Callum Reid that's done that. 146. So now the times are starting to come tumbling down. So now the laps are starting to come in. And that is ARM. That is Andrew McKinley. That has done that fast time there. 146.696. 5.5 minutes left to go in qualifying here. This is, of course, qualifying for race number. This is qualifying for heat, rather, number 2. We should pop the overlay on to say that. Yes, qualifying heat 1 for round 2 of the Xbox One. There we go. Quite the mouthful. I don't believe that at all, Tamsin. I absolutely do not believe that at all. Shay's one of our biggest advocates of the championship, although it was a very difficult week last week for him at Knockhill, and yeah, it really could have been so much better. So here's hoping that he just remembers all he has to do is get in the top 7, and that will see him right through this first race. Although 15 cars now, it's a lot of challenge. And yeah, oh my goodness me, who was that going straight on into the wall there? We'll have to find out. That was Chris Cherry. Of course it was Chris Cherry going into the wall at Monaco. Who else could it be? Although I think that is his internet connection that is playing up a little bit. 145 then for John Duncan. I'd love to say he's dark horse, but he's not really, is he? We know JD's fast. We know JD Bear is a fast kiddo. Andrew McKinley is still up into pole position again, 1:45.844. Now hang on, where is he? Where is our man? Cormac Patterson is just down in 7th place. Where's this 1:44 we were promised? Come on, I'm feeling cheated here. We need to have that. We've got 3 minutes to improve on things. So Ian Kennedy giving a shout out to Jay Kennedy, who we'll see in heat number 2, as well as Shay Brennan. Absolutely, Ross Dunn, you and me both, my friends. We are waiting on the 1:44 train, and maybe that train is about to leave the station because Agent Zigzag, aka Cormac Patterson, is about to head. Edward, it doesn't count. It was Cormac Patterson that said he was doing 1:44, so we expect it from him. Not like that though, maybe ish. Stuart Anderson, no, tyre wear should not have been on. However, if it was on, it would have been on for both heats. So, yeah, that's not the best. We do our best to do checks all the way through before the races. But unfortunately, Project Cars 2 has some very unusual quirks where you'll save a setup for a race and it'll decide, as you noticed in race 2, where we set the lobbies to private, and then it decides, no, let's make it open to everyone. And then we have to go and invite lots of new people. So it may very well have been on, but if it has been on, then it's been on for both races. So everyone's had a fair shot on that. And I can't imagine that would have been very, very nice on your tyres at all. Watching Cormac Patterson here. This is the dream lap here. This is the what? Oh no, it's not, is it? He's got 1 minute to get another lap in. Right, John Duncan, 1:45.537, and I'm struggling for words because Aiden Wilson, we haven't really spoken about him. 1:45. Stuart Anderson, that's absolutely fine. 1:45 is a very, very fast time. There we go, we've broken it. John Duncan, 1:44. 1:44.961. And that wasn't Cormac Patterson. Is he saving it for the last? I think he is. I think that's what's going to happen here. Stunning lap time there. That is a very, very fast pole time from John Duncan. Aaron Wilson into second place. Andrew McKinley in third with a 1:45.844. As we see Tilly Deluxe, that's Scott Anderson up to third with a 1:45.3. So these are fast lap times coming in right now. And John Duncan might not actually be finished yet. Let's go on board and see through the tail end of this lap here. So we're going through tunnel. John Duncan might be able to get one more lap in. Comes through to back. He's got a car in front of him. Might give him a bit of a tow actually. I think he's backed off. Yeah, he's backed off. That's not going to be an improvement on his lap for John Duncan. Never mind. So it looks like then John Duncan pole position with a 1:44.961, laying down the gauntlet then for Aiden Wilson. 1:45.141 with let's see who's in third place. That is of course Scott Anderson. So an awesome lap time there for John Duncan. Qualifying is indeed complete. I've no idea what is going on in that pit lane, but that does not look good, does it? Right, 60 seconds. Yeah, Tamsin, what will happen is that each individual console is responsible for how the physics work. So my one tries to aggregate all of the different drivers, and it doesn't do it with the same accuracy that you see on your own screen. So that's why you'll see some of the cars maybe going into the wall, and then it talks to the other car and says, well, no, I didn't hit the wall, and that's why you see them jerking about a little bit. We make do with what we have got. Let's talk you through the top 15 then. It is John Duncan from Ian Wilson from Scott Anderson in top 3 positions. We've then got Andrew McKinley in 4th. It's Chris Cherry with a storming 5th place. 6th place is going to be that is Bryn Hawkins. We didn't get a chance to speak about him. 7th place is going to be Andrew Gilman. 8th place is Callum Reid. 9th place is Cormac Patterson. 10th place is Ian Menzies. 11th place is going to be John Glover, and 12th place is going to be Mark Winus. Away we go with race number 3 of the evening. The lights are on and we are racing. John Duncan gets a great start there, and 2nd place of Aidan Wilson having a fight. We've got a 3-car battle already going on, and there's contact behind. Chris Cherry comes out on top. Oh my goodness me. Oh no, the Xbox has come true. The dream is alive. Oh my goodness me. And I want to use that famous line from Macau. Millions and millions and millions of pounds. But it's not really, is it? Because it's Janetta, so it's more like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds. Right, let's glaze over that and get back to the action. John Duncan under intense pressure there from Ian Wilson. And Andrew Gilman under pressure from Scott Anderson in 4th place. Let's have a look through what else has happened though. Who have we lost out to the tail end of that group? Because that is A12, and that's Stephen Bramwell that is at the back of the pack there. Chris Cherry still up into 5th place. Cormac Patterson down into 12th. And we've already lost, actually, hang on, we've lost Shea Brennan. So I'm not sure what's happened to Shea, but Shea retiring from the race. Let's go back to your leader then, as John Duncan, 3 seconds of a gap that he's got already. That is just fantastic work as we go in towards lap 2. Scott Anderson is into 2nd place from Andrew Gilman. That gap is now just 0.8 of a second. Andrew Gilman going very wide and hitting the corner at the entrance to turn 1 there. And we see a car at the bottom of the hill getting it all sorts of wrong. I think that was John Glover. Fact, no, it wasn't. Let's see who that was. Oh, that was Chris Cherry. So Chris Cherry goes down from 5th place down in towards 7th. Comes through Casino. He's going to try and get that place back from Callum Reid. They're coming down into Mirabel, and Chris Cherry fires it up the inside. Surely has too much speed. He makes it stick. Brilliant move. Oh my goodness me, Chris Cherry, and yeah, that's never ever going to work. I'm only laughing because I know how much work this is going to be for me in the morning with replays. Oh dearie me. Right, John Duncan is off into the lead. He's now yeah, Wayne, that is exactly what happened there. It was a lunge from 3 miles back. It was never going to work. He knew it was never going to work. And unfortunately that is what happens. John Duncan though off into another dimension, 3.5 seconds ahead of Andrew Gilman, and that means that Scott Anderson is now down into third place. I don't know what's happened there. I wonder if it was contact with the wall, because he's now lost that position to Andrew Gilman, and Aidan Wilson now all the way down into fourth place. So it's Aidan Wilson actually that's lost out significantly on that last lap, because he was up at the second and he's now all the way down into fourth. Andrew McKinley up into sixth place there from Chloe Grant. Chloe Grant's had a very, very quiet race. We haven't really spoken about her. She didn't have a great qualifying and has managed to make her way up into seventh. Oh my goodness me! I'm kind of lost for words, because Mark Winus did a 2.5 pike with a double flip. Oh, yeah. Well, that's it's really difficult, guys. I'm not going to lie. It's really difficult to try and keep my composure when you see a car flying up into the air like that. It leaves you kind of speechless. And unfortunately, we've seen that it can be done. We've seen that console races can do it very, very well. So, yeah. Andrew Gilman in the second place there from Mr. Anderson. Scott Anderson in third place, trying to hold off Aidan Wilson. Right, well, we'll have a little look into that, guys. We'll have to take a very quick technical break, and we'll keep an eye on what's happened here, and we'll be back with you in just a second. So it does look like the drivers did race on in that one. Unfortunately, of course, we've got no way to validate the results. So it was under 75%. So I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to restart that race. So what we'll do is we'll try and gather all of the drivers up. We'll go and confirm with them, and we will be back in 5 minutes with our next race, whether or not that is our restarted race or we'll do Heat 2 and then do the restart after that. So again, we'll take a very short break, and when we return we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes with some more racing. So again, just confirmation of the outcome of all of that. Obviously, we apologise. Technical issues do and regularly happen. The race was red flagged before 75%, so we will be restarting Heat 1 shortly after this race has finished. We move on to Heat number 2, and we will invite all of the drivers back into this race. So, as we said, qualifying heat number 2 is on the go. They've got 10 minutes on the board, and we will redo that heat number 1. So, let's have a look at Heat 2 then. Angus Scrivener, James Black, Andrew Strang, John Proctor, Jamie Black, Jordan Brown, Jay Kennedy. We've got Cameron Evans in here as well, Ross Dunn, Steve Sadler, some guy called Josh McNabb, although funny story, I accidentally almost invited his dad, Stevie McNabb, into the lobby by accident. We don't want that. Stuart Wyness, Innes Miller, Tom Biddy and Tony Logie round out your field here at Monaco. And, well... Edward, there will be qualifying. There will be another 10-minute qualifying session, unfortunately. We have to kind of allow them that. It'll be a full restart of the qualifying. Unfortunately, Project Cars 2 doesn't allow you to get that in. And, Chris Cherry, we absolutely understand that was a frustrating start. So we'll be restarting that race in about half an hour's time. So you can get back in and give that another go, my friends. So, qualifying is done and dusted while we're all distracted about the restart. There will be a restart happening of heat number 1 after this race. We've got 14 qualifiers in heat number 2, and it looks like we're back into the 144s because we have got Tony Logie up there with a 144.616. Not only that, we've got 2 into the 144s because Cameron Evans is also up there with a 144.956. Josh McNabb in third place with a 145.475, and that's the best of the rest, I'm afraid, because everybody else is on 147s and 148s. So, fingers crossed we get a good race. That is what I'm hoping for, because, you know, we don't have all night, guys. Come on, we all got to go home at some point. So, Tony Logie is on pole position. Let's go through the order properly. Tony Logie on pole position from Cameron Evans. Josh McNabb in third place. And then in fourth place is James Black. Fifth place is Tom Binney. Sixth place is going to go to Stuart Wyner. Seventh place is Angus Scrivener. 8th place goes to Ross Dunn. 9th place goes to Jay Kennedy. And then 10th place is going to be Jordan Brown. That's all we've got time for because it's Jamie Blake in 11th place. But never mind that. here we go. The race is underway and Tony Logie gets the lead going in towards turn 1 under enormous pressure here. Oh, there's a spin already. That was third place there. Jay Kennedy moves up into 4th place, but who was that? I think that was Tom Binney, who goes all the way down in towards 8th place there. Not what we want to see. Tony Logie stretches away into the lead though. A second already ahead of Cameron Evans in 2nd place. James Black in 3rd as well. So that's your 1, 2, 3 right now, but we're looking for your top 7 because that's what it's all about for qualifying. The cars still relatively close together. We've got 10 seconds between the top 9 to 11 cars there. So in 7th place at the moment is Ross Dunn. We're going to ignore what on earth just happened there. I think that was Josh McNabb getting caught up in all of that stuff. Yeah, it's Chloe, it's the entire Heat 1 that gets done again, so that has to be qualifying as well. I can't keep, unfortunately, the qualifying results for that first race. The game will not allow me to do that, so qualifying will be done again as well. Josh McNabb all the way down in towards 11th place there though, as we see the race leader Tony Logie 2 seconds ahead of Cameron Evans. James Black is trying to catch up onto the back of him as well, 1.2 seconds behind 2nd place. Angus Scrivener though up into 4th place. That's slightly unexpected. He had a torrid time out at Knock Hill, and look at that, Jay Kennedy as well, despite having steering grip issues in qualifying, is doing a marvellous job there up into 5th place. Ross Dunn down into 6th with Jordan Brown just behind him, and Josh McNabb now catching up onto that train as well. So let's have a look there. Jordan Brown on that last qualifying selection, and then it is Josh McNabb trying to catch up. Ian Wilson, it is not randomised grids for the restart. There will be a qualifying session happening on that, so don't you worry about that. We've got you. Unfortunately, with other sims you can dictate the order of the people on a race session. Unfortunately you can't do that, as Josh McNabb goes up the inside in Mirabel. Beautiful move for that final qualifying spot, and Josh McNabb, as it stands, is going through into Sunday. Next on his hit list is going to be Ross Dunn, and he's got the pace to do it, as we see Jay Kennedy trying to catch onto the back of Angus Scrivener. Angus Scrivener having a bit of a moment there early onto the brakes, but it's still your race leader Tony Logie now 3 seconds ahead of Cameron Evans, who is getting caught up by James Black. A lot of pace on display right now. Let's have a look further back, because now Josh McNabb has got that 6th place as well from Ross Dunn. Made very, very short work of that, and his next target is going to be Jay Kennedy, who is about 6 seconds up the road. But look at that, Angus Scrivener really struggling with this car. Now tyre wear is not on for the Xbox edition of the Heats because it's not supposed to be on, so they don't have tyre wear to contend with this. And a big moment on turn 1, and that is going to surely hand Jay Kennedy up into 4th place. That's awesome work. Now Jay Kennedy just 4 seconds behind James Black now, so he's still well in contention right now of getting a podium place. Josh McNabb doing his best to try and catch up to the battle for 4th and 5th place here. And I don't think that Ross Dunn is going to get any competition whatsoever in terms of that final qualifying spot, because 8 seconds behind him is Steve Sadler. So he's looking pretty comfortable up there right now, but Jay Kennedy still trying to get some sort of distance between him and Angus Scrivener. This battle for 4th place right now, as we see Josh McNabb falling a little bit behind now. That gap now up to 7 seconds between him and 5th place. Mr. Ninja Fish. I very much doubt that would ever happen around up in Aberdeen, but yeah, Giannetta's going around the track here at Monaco isn't quite the same sight as them diving around the streets of Torry. But never mind, it's something possibly to submit to the council. We'll see if we can get some Formula Fords up there or something like that. I used to live up in Aberdeen, so I know the streets quite well up there. So it would be quite awesome to see Union Street taken over by Giannetta's, but I just can't see that being part of the redevelopment plan for Aberdeen. But yeah, we'd love to see it. Meanwhile, distractions aside, back to the race, and it currently looks like this. Tony Logie is in the lead from Cameron Evans by 5 seconds. 2 seconds behind that is James Black, and then Jay Kennedy doing a brilliant job there of keeping that 4th place under wraps. 5th place is Angus Scrivener. 6th place is Josh McNabb. 7th place is Ross Dunn, and then Steve Sadler in 8th, with 9th place being taken up by Jordan Brown. In 10th place is going to be Stu Wyness, and 11th place looks to be John Proctor, and at the back of the field is Innes Miller. So we've got just 5 laps left to go. Tony Logie making this look like an exhibition race right now. Let's see. So Stevie Bramwell, Heat 1 is being re-raced, so if you want to give it another go, then you will get an invite. If you're not want to take that up, that's absolutely up to you, but everyone that is racing or has raced in Heat 1 will get an invite into the rerun just after this race. So we're shortly coming up to 7 laps, which is 75% race distance. So yours truly is going to be taking screenshots of the results at the end of every lap, because I just don't trust this anymore. We're having a rare night for technical issues, but it is what it is. And it hasn't detracted at all from the awesome racing that we've had, as we see Jay Kennedy coming under big pressure right now from Angus Scrivener. The two of them back to it, and Angus Scrivener trying to take that 4th place away. It's around the inside at the hairpin. Beautiful move there by Angus Scrivener. Oh, and there's contact again. Huge contact as Jay Kennedy almost sends him into the wall there, and Jay Kennedy gets the favour returned. You hate to see it, but this brings Josh McNabb right into the mix, because he is now just 3 seconds behind this tussle that is going on. 4th, 5th and 6th place are soon going to be going there. And also have a look at this, because now the battle for 2nd place is hotting up. 0.8 of a second separate Cameron Evans from James Black, and Cameron under real pressure right now. Twelve cars left in this race from the 14 that started, and that race between Angus Scrivener and Jay Kennedy has fallen by the wayside. Jay Kennedy now under attack from Josh McNabb. We'll have a little look at this. We'll keep an eye on the leader in just a second, because look at this battle for 2nd and 3rd place now. Cameron Evans under real pressure from James Black. They're going to come down in towards Mirabel, then in towards the hairpin. And yeah, this could go any way right now. Portier is going to hold all the answers. Oh, and a big block up there from James Black on the exit of the corner. The tail goes wide, and that's a huge sigh of relief there for Cameron Evans. He gets to breathe and fight his chances another day. Josh McNabb though makes the move stick, and Josh McNabb now up to 5th place. A heroic comeback drive. He was all the way down into 10th place at lap 1, but Josh McNabb shows his true grit and determination, moves all the way back up through the field to 5th place, and you wouldn't put it past him to get up into 4th place as well. 4 seconds between him and Angus Scrivener with just 3 laps left to go. Let's have a look for this battle for 2nd place though between Cameron Evans and James Black. Has that fizzled out now? Because James Black has got a little bit of a gap in front of him, but Cameron Evans hits the wall and puts paid to that answer. And here we go again, game on with just 2 laps left to go. This is all looking very nice for Tony Logie, because he is going to be very happy. 4 seconds up into the distance. Down out towards turn 1. And again, Cameron Evans forced to try and take all that extra speed into the corner and soak up all that pressure. Let's go into chase cam with James Black then, as he tries to catch up with Cameron Evans. A nice tight line through in towards Casino. You can see just how much effort he's going to have to do, and surely this is it. James Black fires it up the inside. A beautiful move on the entrance to Mirabeau. It's not over yet though, because Cameron Evans is going to try and take that place away again from James Black. Goes around the outside, tries to get a tighter line, but James Black is up into 2nd place. A wonderful, wonderful move there with just 2 laps left to go, and he's got the pace to try and get some distance between him and Cameron Evans. Angus Scrivener now 4 seconds ahead of Josh McNabb. Josh McNabb, I think, is the only car that's got all of his bumpers and all of his panels on his car intact. Jay Kennedy promptly proved me wrong there. Stu Wyness showing exactly why I made that comment. He's got no front bumper, and neither does Sadler or Jordan Brown. So a cracking race there, and already a second of a gap between your top 2. Cameron Evans is desperately trying to hold on to it. Cross the line in lap 8 out of 9, penultimate lap for this second race, and we will be rerunning the first heat after this session. Look at that, Tony Logie 1:45.297. That is qualifying pace from Tony Logie right now, and he is just streaking away into the sunset right now. Certainly will, Tam Hamill. It is going to be absolutely chock-a-block, will the body shop tomorrow. So your last qualifier at the moment, Ross Dunn, down in 7th place. He is very much safe with that one. He is about 36 seconds ahead of the next competitor. And just watching this battle now for 2nd and 3rd place, it is indeed James Black now, 1.5 seconds. That's exactly what I thought would happen. Because he has got incredible pace there. Now hang on a minute, what has happened here? In fact, no, sorry, excuse me, it's Angus Scrivener and Josh McNabb. They're still the same distance away, but I forgot they were about 7 seconds behind that battle for 3rd place anyway. A brilliant result though for Jay Kennedy. He was really struggling on the Knock Hill round, and he's going to qualify for the final, so congratulations to him. I know he's got a lot of support in chat tonight. Wayne, yeah, you obviously missed Heat 1, buddy. Trust me, you're going to make up for it. Ross Dunn still in that 7th place then, but your race leader, we're going to stay with him. Tony Logie, on to lap number 9. Through into Mirabeau, then it's going to be into the hairpin. And I'm absolutely speechless. Let's just take a second in fact, actually. Look at that lap time that Tony Logie has just fired in there. 1:44.284. That's during the race. That's during the final lap of the race. That would be good enough in any session tonight to take pole. Unbelievable performance from Tony Logie. And he's been taking on traffic through that as well. So just a blistering textbook performance from Tony Logie. He is going to go across the line to take qualifying heat number 2. Letting a back marker know that he's in the way there. I think that's Steve Sadler. In fact, no, that was John Proctor who very kindly let him by. But there we go, Tony Logie around the final couple of corners. A little clip of the wall, it doesn't matter. It's a wonderful performance. A win for Tony Logie in qualifying heat number 2 of the Xbox One Championship. Let's go back to this race behind, because James Black now, the gap has come down between him and Cameron Evans. I don't think Cameron Evans is going to do it. Indeed, it's not. They come across the line. Second place for James Black. Third place for Cameron Evans. Is going to be fourth place for Angus Scrivener. But have a look at that. Josh McNabb. Fifth place for Josh. Excellent result. Jake Kennedy is going to come across the line. Brilliant result for him. Sixth place. And then it's going to be Ross Dunn with the final qualifying spot of the night for heat number 2. And then in 8th place is going to be Stu Winus. 9th place for Jordan Brown. 10th place for John Proctor. 11th place for Steve Sadler. And then in 12th place is Innes Miller. There's your top 12 cars then from our second race of the night. We'll get the replay saved and then we will be back for a rerun of heat number 1. So we will send out to all the invites for heat number 1. If you don't want to take part, then you don't have to. But obviously if you do want to give it another shot for heat 1, then keep an eye out for that invite popping its way into your inbox. We'll be back in just under 5 minutes for our next and final session of the night, rerun of heat number 1. the fantastic news is that we are finally back with the heat number 2. We'll try it again, shall we? There we go. We've updated the stream. Right, so thankfully we've got the drivers that were having problems in. This race will not be getting restarted. So we will have to take whatever result we can get. We will be taking regular updates on this. Obviously, if it disconnects before qualifying's finished, we will have to do it. But yeah, we've got things up and running, and we will just take whatever comes out of this. We will get it all sorted. Unfortunately, the weird thing is, it's always Xbox that we have these problems with. It's really strange. Don't know why. If it crashes, Edward, then we will have to see. Right, John, we will get you in. We did send you an invite, buddy, but we'll get you another one on there just now. You'll have to excuse this unprofessionalism, but we'll have to jump in just to send another invite out. This is like peeking behind the scenes, isn't it? This is how the magic happens. It's literally somebody at an Xbox making all this happen. So you saw there, John. We've sent you an invite back into the session, as we did mention. It helps if you come online. The reason for that is just so that when we're literally, it's all done manually. So when we invite you into the session, yeah, there we go. You're very welcome, Edward. You're very welcome to that pair behind the scenes here. So we've got 5.5 minutes left to go. We're starting to see some times coming in, but again, they're 1:47, so we can see faster than that. At the moment, it is Cormac Patterson and Mark Chappelle. John's just a troublemaker. Yes, he is. He absolutely is. We get nothing but problems from John Glover. But yeah, it's all good. There we go. Edward Porter, you're taking my job. Well, you see, if you fancy commentating, if you fancy having a wee shot, get in touch and we'll see if we can put your dulcet tones on the airwaves. Edward, we'll see if we can get you involved, because you're one of our top fans, buddy. You're here for every single broadcast that we do, and is very, very much appreciated. Top time at the moment then, Cormac Patterson. He was holding that one in the bag, wasn't he? 1:47.155. Ross Dunn saying it's a second chance for a 1:44. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get that, Cormac. I don't think so. John, we will certainly, if you want to restart, we will do our best to try and get you in. You've got about 4 minutes left to go. 1:45.659 is the fastest time gone in. That is by Andrew McKinley, I think. Yep. Now, one man we haven't seen put in a lap just yet is Aidan Wilson. Now, he was really far up the order. So 3.5 minutes left to go, and a lot of the drivers leaving things very, very last minute indeed. And what we'll do is we'll just take a very quick breakaway just so we can invite John Glover back into the session. There we go, so that is the final invite getting sent out, unfortunately. 2.5 minutes left to go, and it is still Andrew McKinley. We saw a car briefly there at the bottom of the chicane. Cormac Patterson still in second place, 1:46.341. And Angus Scrivener saying that was a very intense race for him in Heat 2. It certainly was, and you did very, very well to hold on to that place. I think Josh McNabb was hunting you down something rotten towards the end there. John Duncan, who we saw did very, very well previously, he's back up into 3rd place. As we also see into 4th Andrew Gilman. Alright, we'll try this one last time, ladies and gentlemen. Just, again, apologies for the break in the 4th wall here. Yeah, didn't mean to do that one. There we go. I think there is, Graham Mather. The problem with it is that these tracks are actually laser scanned. I believe this one is one of them that isn't laser scanned. That's why they've had to call it Azure Circuit, because they don't have the rights. So they can reproduce it, they can, because it's a thing on the planet and they can recreate it, but they're not allowed to call it Monaco. So what will happen is that individual racetracks will they will negotiate with game developers or companies to sell their rights, their likeness, and their branding to be used in things like this, in games like this. So I would imagine F1 would pay a lot of money to get the official licenses for all of these tracks. That's the way that it works, and they're usually laser scanned using something called LiDAR, which is loads of laser beams that bounce across the track. So that's how nowadays we've got these wonderful, like 100% accurate representations of racetracks all around the world, and it's how all of us can enjoy sim racing and feeling like we're taking part of the action. Cormac Patterson, Ross Dunn did a 143 in that race, right? No, you never. That's fibs. That's absolute fibs. It was very, very close though. And John Duncan is just beached at the end of the corner there. What is my favourite racetrack? That's a great question, Edward. Thank you very much for that. Qualifying over, Andrew McKinley taking pole position, 145.659. Cormac Patterson second place, and then John Duncan, who is just stuck there. Andrew Gilman in 4th. Favourite racetrack would probably have to be, as a spectator, probably Bathurst, just because it's so spectacular. But as a like a sim racer, and one track that I would absolutely love to do is Laguna Seca. Formerly the Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca, now the WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. So yeah, would absolutely love to do that one. 50 seconds left to go. We've seen the final laps coming in, and a very wide spread of qualifying times now. 2.5 seconds from first to 10th place, and yeah, this is going to be a very, very interesting race indeed. And as I say, there will not be a restart of this race, so whatever happens, if there's a disconnect or something, we will work that out shortly after that. Edward, absolutely, of course, Knockhill comes a close second. I think it does for all of us here in Scotland, because you know Knockhill is our track, it's our home. And we spend an inordinate amount of time up there, and you know, don't for a second think that because I don't work up there that I don't still feel exactly the same way as I do. Such a special place for me. It's where I got my, it's where my driving career started, my racing career started. Did my ARDs up there. Did my first track day up there. It's such a wonderful, wonderful place. And I don't think any track can actually compare in the whole of the United Kingdom for the view that you get in the commentary box. I mean, the fact that you can see almost everything on the track from that one central point is just staggering. It's such a privileged place to be in the Gary Stagg commentary tower, and I look forward to the days when we can eventually return up to there, so we're all looking forward to that. Mark, yeah, that's exactly how I got started up at Knockhill. Went there camping for the BTCC, and then just came back. Spoke very nicely to Duncan Vincent, who hooked me up with an interview with the events director, and it was all history from there. Tam Hamill, because I got caught up in conversation. That's why we ended up watching the pits. So there we go. Right, quali is done. Let's have a look through the order then. We've got 12 cars. We have got Andrew McKinley, Cormac Patterson in second place. It's then in third place Andrew Gilman who takes that third place. And in fourth place it is Ian Menzies. Fifth place is Aidan Wilson, who got taken out during qualifying. No doubt we'll be seeing that. Sixth place is Callum Reid. Seventh place is Bryn Hawkins. Eighth place is going to be Scott Anderson. Ninth place goes to Chris Cherry. 10th place is Mark Wyness. Chloe Grant in 11th. And we have got Shay Brennan in 12th place. I noticed that we do not have John Duncan on the grid. He has lost connection somewhere between that and the race, and the problem is I can't invite him back in, so unfortunately JD is going to be missing this race, and unfortunately due to me almost pressing a button there, we almost missed the race as well. That would be absolutely not hilarious. I'm going to go and put the controller down so I don't accidentally touch any buttons. There we go, the cars are synced on the grid and we are ready to go for our final race of the night. John, I'm sorry you couldn't get in to join the race there, buddy. That is such a shame. I think it's because you joined after 3 minutes to go. But here we go then. Race is underway. Heat 1 restart. And again, it looks a little bit cleaner than last time. Have I spoken too soon? No, all of the cars have survived turn 1. So, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well done to them. Right, it is Cormac Patterson in the lead. I never thought I would utter those words, but Cormac Patterson, the man, the myth, the legend, is showing them how it's all done. He is in the lead of the race from Andrew McKinley. Third place is Andrew Gilman, and then in fourth place is Ian Menzies. This is an awesome race, and it looks like all of the cars are still very cleanly making their way through. We've got all 12 cars within 5 seconds, so they've all made it through. This is brilliant stuff. From now on, Xbox, this is how you race. This is how you do it, Xbox. Please, thank you. It looks like we've lost a couple towards the back there. That's Shay Brennan and Scott Anderson, who look to be falling further and further behind. Meanwhile, we're still with your race leader as Cormac Patterson. Hang on, I got distracted there because Cormac Patterson's now down in second place. It's actually Andrew McKinley. I was too busy looking at the timing screens for Shay Brennan and Scott Anderson that I didn't actually see that happen. So Andrew McKinley now off into the lead, 1.2 seconds ahead of Cormac Patterson, and we've got Gilman in third place as well. Andrew Gilman doing a fine job of keeping on to that place ahead of Ian Menzies, but Ian Menzies has got his own battle going on because he's got Ian Wilson all over him right now. Let's have a look at these two. Ian Wilson's going to try and fire it up the inside. Surely that's not going to happen at turn 1. Surely not. But he's made the move stick before it even comes to it. And that is some argy-bargy going on. Oh, and Ian Wilson loses it. Is taken out. That is going to be a huge Marshall's inquiry into that one, because Ian Menzies just... Yeah, That was really, really wild stuff there. Ian Menzies outbraked himself at turn 1, tried to go around the outside of Ian Wilson, and the two of them come into contact before they even get up the hill there for turn 3. So Ian Wilson down into 9th place, and this is going to be a recovery drive. Remember, it's just visual damage that is on these cars right now. And Chris Cherry now all the way up into 6th place, so fantastic recovery drive for him. Meanwhile, Andrew McKinley still from Cormac Patterson. That gap now coming down to under a second as Andrew Gilman loses a bit of time now, and he is well into the grasps, I think, of that 4th place battle, because he's now just 3 seconds ahead of them. But look at this, Westy V8, that's Callum Reid that's moved up into 4th place, ahead of Bryn Hawkins. Now, Bryn Hawkins, we didn't get a chance to speak much about Bryn Hawkins in the first race there, but he's had a fantastic championship so far. He's done really, really well to stay up with the leaders. Raced karts through the 90s and early 2000s. He picked up a few regional and national championships through his time there, and then decided to turn his hand to autograss, racing in the British F600 Championship. So it's great to see Bryn Hawkins joining us in round 2 for this, and he's doing really, really well in this championship. The gap between your leader now, 1.5 seconds between Andrew McKinley and Cormac Patterson, with Andrew Gilman is now 4.5 seconds behind there, and then it is Westy V8, of course, that's Callum Reid, who is now getting a little bit of a gap there, 0.7 of a second coming through Casino ahead of Bryn Hawkins. Bryn Hawkins as well is about 0.8 of a second ahead of Chris Cherry. Chris Cherry really, really doing well in both of these races. Was very unfortunate to get that disconnect earlier on tonight. But as I said, whatever happens tonight, we will be getting a result. There will not be another restart of this race. So we're regularly taking note of the positions and the order of the drivers just now. And the great thing is that a lot of the cars are spreading themselves out quite nicely, as we see in Inclining Skate. That's Mark Wyness fighting it out with Aidan Wilson. Now, what on earth happened there? Because we've lost another car from that battle. Aidan Wilson, though, just within grasp of that final qualifying position. That's going to be a slowdown penalty for sure for Wyness. Tucks in behind Aidan Wilson, and Aidan Wilson then jumps into that 7th place. And that is what he wanted, because that is what qualifies for Sunday's final. Oh, what a huge moment there for Mark Wyness out of the chicane. And he is really struggling to hold on to this car. So, lap 4 out of 6 then. And Andrew McKinley now is just half a second ahead of Cormac Patterson, and it's going to come down even further after incidents like that. They're coming down into Mirabel, and Cormac Patterson can smell the victory with just 5 laps left to go. This is brewing up so nicely, as it usually does. Gets to about lap 4 or 5, and then the gaps start to come down again, as we see Cormac Patterson with a flash of the lights here. Is Cormac Patterson going to try and dive up the inside of Andrew McKinley? They're both late on the brakes, very, very late indeed. They managed to get the car slowed down. It's through the chicane by the pool, and they're going to come up to turn number 12 in just a second. Of course, that is to back. And that gap now 0.6 of a second. Have a look at Bryn Hawkins, who's got himself up to 5th place, and he's taken over that 5th place from Chris Cherry, if I am not mistaken. In fact, no, I tell a lie. He was always in 5th place. He's now starting to get caught up by Chris Cherry. That's what it is. The gap is now down to just 0.6 of a second. Meanwhile, Aidan Wilson is looking very secure in that 7th place. We come across the line to start lap number 5. And again, we take a record of the results as they stand so far. So it is Andrew McKinley 1.5 seconds ahead of Cormac Patterson. It was an issue on the exit of the final chicane for Cormac Patterson that cost him all that time. And that puts him into the clutches of Andy Gilman again. But Andrew McKinley just can't seem to get a hold of the corner at Casino there. He seems to lose an awful lot of time to the car behind him of Cormac Patterson. And it's now just a second, and that pressure is going to just keep building and building and building right now. Let's go on board with Cormac Patterson. Coming through the tunnel here and then emerge into daylight, and it's a case of picking your braking spot and seeing how brave you possibly can be. On Cormac Patterson, a little bit too late on the brakes. That's going to be a slowdown for him, and he is going to have to surely give that place up. And what has happened there to Andrew McKinley? Andrew McKinley just stops dead and has to give up the place. Well, this is all getting very, very eyebrow raising, isn't it? Because Andrew Gilman is coming into the clutches of them as well. So it's now going to be a 3-car battle for the lead with only 3 laps left to go. Cormac Patterson looking every which way to try and get up the inside of Andrew McKinley right now. And my goodness me, we have got a cracker of a race unfolding right in front of us here on the virtual streets of Monaco. The rerun of qualifying heat number 1. We are 6 laps in out of 9, and Cormac Patterson in second place trying to hunt Andrew McKinley down. He clatters the wall there. Again, just visual damage that's on. That's going to slow him right down all the way on that run up the hill. It's going to lose him a lot of time, but he has to try and keep that pressure on Andrew McKinley. Look at Andrew Gilman in the background there though. He is just waiting for his chance to pounce on this. And noticing that Bryn Hawkins has also lost 5th place to Chris Cherry. So a fantastic position gained for Chris Cherry, but we're going to keep our eye on the leader now, because Cormac Patterson now just half a second away from your race leader here with just 2 laps left to go when they cross the line for the next time. I wonder what is going to happen here with Cormac Patterson, because he's got the pace, he's got the toe right now as they come through the tunnel. And he's trying to distract as much as he can. That is I would say it's a bit unethical, flashing the lights on the way into a braking zone. And he's lost a lot of time. He's lost a whole second through that chicane there. So Cormac Patterson now firmly into the grasps of Andrew Gilman in 3rd place there. 2 seconds behind your race leader. Meanwhile, the battle for 4th place is Callum Reid ahead of Chris Cherry. And Chris Cherry, I don't think he's going to have enough time to make it go through. But your leader comes across the line, start lap 7. So that is 75% race distance done. So if we do have an issue at the end of this, this will be the result called. But let's hope it doesn't come to this. It's a cracking little battle now as we see Cormac Patterson falling off the back of your race leader now. 2.2 seconds. He's now just 0.6 of a second ahead of 3rd place. Andrew Gilman is going to try and catch up to the back of him. Again, catching up is one thing. It's being able to pass that's something completely different. Very shortly we're going to be on our penultimate lap of the race. We start in lap 8. And Andrew McKinley now must be stretching his legs. He must be really happy with the gap that he's built up now. It's nearly 3 seconds as we see Cormac Patterson really struggling with that chicane. That's where he loses about a second every lap over Andrew McKinley. So you've got to wonder if it was just a bit of a mistake or a crash into the wall that cost him that time. as we see JD putting up his Xbox and his copy of Project Cars 2. Keep the steering wheel, son. We'll get you a PC and we'll get you with the big boys and girls over in the PC sim racing crowds. But yeah, JD, we're gutted that we couldn't have you in the race. It is what it is. Unfortunately, the Microsoft, it doesn't seem to be the most. I'm trying to think of the word. The most robust of systems for doing this on. So we'll look at ways that we can make that better. Whether that's decreasing the lobby sizes to 10, but it is definitely the Microsoft, the Xbox that we have the problems on. It would appear. Anyway, lap 8 out of 9. Andrew McKinley still ahead of Cormac Patterson, but while we've been talking, that gap's come down now. That gap's come down from 3 seconds to 1.4 seconds. So what has just happened to Andrew McKinley? This is what we saw on those previous laps. He was a comfortable distance ahead, and now it's starting to come down quite drastically. Cormac Patterson still trying to hold on to the back of Andrew McKinley for that race lead, but again it's just to the top 10, which means that Bryn Hawkins is going to be your final qualifier from this evening. 10 cars left in the race after the session. We've had 5 retirements, 1 before the race even started, 2 before the race even started, excuse me. But there we go, Andrew McKinley then comes across light start, his final lap of the evening. And the pace has been much more consistent with what you would expect race pace to be compared to last time round, where we were doing qualifying laps every single lap. Cormac Patterson though, second place, 3.3 seconds behind your race leader. Andrew Gilman is 5.6 behind your race leader. So those two have fallen off the back end. Callum Reid still in that 4th place. But look at Chris Cherry. Let's take a moment out to talk about Chris Cherry here, because he has fought his way through the grid here to get back up to that 5th place, and he's looking desperate, he's looking hungry for that 4th place. As desperate might be the word there, but I think it's his internet connection that just made him look like he went straight off into Mirabeau there, as we see Aidan Wilson as well. Was expecting Aidan Wilson to be further up the order there, but an earlier issue with Ian Menzies, which I'm almost certain is going to get protested, caused the two of them to drop all the way down from 4th and 5th down towards the back of the grid. But a great recovery drive there from Aidan Wilson. Meanwhile, your race leader Andrew McKinley coming through the final couple of corners. He's navigated through the final chicane. It's just 3 corners left to go. A very strong performance for Andrew McKinley. It was what could have been. My heart was set on having Cormac Patterson as a race winner, but it wasn't to be. Andrew McKinley wins the rerun of qualifying heat number 1. 2nd place is going to go to Cormac Patterson, just from Andrew Gilman in 2nd place. But Andrew Gilman actually takes that 2nd place because Cormac Patterson has time penalties, which puts him several seconds behind that. Does it? We'll have to wait for the actual results screen there. In fact, let's check the timing screen there. I think it might just be the AI that was playing about there. It is. Right. I can breathe safely now. Cormac Patterson does get 2nd place there. Andrew Gilman in 3rd place. It's going to be Callum Reid in 4th. Chris Cherry in 5th place. Aidan Wilson in 6th. And then Bryn Hawkins in 7th place. 8th place, Scott Anderson. 9th place is going to go to Mark Winus, and then 10th place is going to go to Ian Menzies. So that was Monaco, and I've got to be honest, apart from that first race, yes, Aidan Wilson, well done, you did qualify, buddy. It's the top 7 that goes through. Bryn Hawkins was the last qualifier. So well done. We will see you on Sunday. But what a night. Qualifying Heat 1 didn't get off to the best start. They did manage to pull it back. And all in all, that was an awesome rerun of the first race. So thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I've been David Christie. We will see you on Sunday for the finals for the console. Join us tomorrow night, though, where we have round 1, the opening rounds of the SMRC iRacing eSports Championship. It's going to be an amazing spectacle. I've got Alex Goldschmidt joining me in the commentary box for that. We have got upwards of 30 cars taking place in the one race. So none of this 10 to 15 car lobby. You're going to see 30 plus cars on the grid tomorrow for the opening rounds of the SMRC Championship. It will be on this channel and you can see it live from 6 o'clock tomorrow night. I've been David Christie. Thank you very much for your company tonight. We will see you tomorrow for the iRacing Championship and we'll see you on Sunday for the finals.